Jackie Chan was born on April 7, 1954, in Hong Kong, China. When his parents moved to Australia to find new jobs, the 7-year-old he was left behind to study at the Chinese Opera Research Institute, a Hong Kong boarding school. For the next 10 years he studied martial arts, drama, acrobatics and singing, and was subjected to stringent discipline, including corporal punishment for poor performance. He appeared in his first film, the Cantonese feature Big and Little Wong Tin Bar in 1962, when he was only 8, and went on to appear in a number of musical films. Upon his graduation in 1971, he found work as an acrobat and a movie stuntman, most notably in Fist of Fury in 1972, starring Hong Kong's resident big-screen superstar Bruce Lee. For that film, he reportedly completed the highest fall in the history of the Chinese film industry, earning the respectful notice of the formidable Bruce Lee, among others. Big break. After Bruce Lee's tragic, unexpected death in 1973, he was singled out as a likely successor of his mantle as the King of Hong Kong cinema. To that end, he starred in a string of kung fu movies with Lo Wei, a producer and director who had worked with Lee. Most were unsuccessful, and the collaboration ended in the late 1970s. By that time, he had decided that he wanted to break out of the Lee mold and create his own image. Blending his martial arts abilities with impressive nerve, he insisted on performing all of his own stunts, and a sense of screwball physical comedy reminiscent of one of his idols, Buster Keaton, he found his own formula for cinematic gold. A year after the release of his first bona fide hit, Snake in the Eagle's Shadow in 1978, he took the Hong Kong film world by storm with his first so-called kung fu comedy, the now classic Drunken Master, in 1978. Subsequent hits such as The Fearless Hyena in 1979, Half a Loaf of Kung Fu in 1980, and The Young Master in 1980 confirmed Jackie Chan's star status. The latter film marked his first with Golden Harvest, Lee's old production company and the leading film studio in Hong Kong. Before long, he had become the highest-paid actor in Hong Kong, and a huge international star throughout Asia. He exerted total control over most of his films, often taking charge of duties ranging from producing to directing to performing the theme songs. In the early 1980s, he tried his luck in Hollywood with little success. He starred in the Golden Harvest-produced The Big Brawl in 1980, which flopped. He also had small supporting roles opposite Burt Reynolds in the ensemble comedy The Cannonball Run in 1982, and its 1984 sequel. Movie empire. Back in Hong Kong, his star continued to rise. He produced impressive action comedies such as Project A in 1983, Police Story in 1985, and Armor of God in 1986, as well as the hit period film Mr. Canton and Lady Rose in 1989, a clever remake of Frank Capra's 1961 film A Pocketful of Miracles. By that time, he was far more than a movie star, he was a one-man film industry. In 1986, he formed his own production company, Golden Way. He also founded a modeling/casting agency, Jackie's Angels, in order to recruit talent for his films. Additionally, after numerous stuntmen were injured during the filming of Police Story, the actor founded the Jackie Chan Stuntmen Association, through which he personally trained and provided medical coverage for its members. For his part, he claims to have broken every bone in his body at least once while performing stunts. In 1986, during the filming of Armor of God, he fractured his skull after falling more than 40 feet, while attempting to jump from the top of a building to a tree branch below. In the early 1990s, he broadened his cinematic range, turning in a rare dramatic performance in the melodramatic Crime Story, 1993. He also made several sequels to his hits Police Story and Drunken Master. He was still mostly unknown in the United States by this point, but his profile experienced a meteoric rise during the mid-1990s, when a series of events combined to bring him to the attention of a wider American audience. Hollywood star. In 1995, he created his own comic book character, the central figure in Jackie Chan's Spartan X, a series that hit newsstands in both Asia and the US. That same year, newly anointed directing sensation Quentin Tarantino, fresh off the success of Pulp Fiction in 1994, presented he with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the MTV Movie Awards. Tarantino reportedly threatened to boycott the ceremony if he did not receive the award. In 1996, New Line Cinema and Golden Harvest jointly released Rumble in the Bronx, his fifth English-language dubbed release but his first hit in America. The film grossed $10 million in its first weekend, shooting to #1 at the box office, and its success prompted the American debuts of two previous he films, Crime Story and Drunken Master 2. After two less successful efforts, Jackie Chan's First Strike, 1997, and Mr. Nice Guy in 1998, he scored another box office hit with Rush Hour, also 1998, an American-produced action comedy. In Rush Hour, he employed his English-language skills as a Chinese police officer alongside a streetwise Los Angeles cop, played by the rising comedian Chris Tucker. In 2000, he starred in Shanghai Noon, another action comedy that was set in the Old West and co-starred Owen Wilson and Lucy Liu. The following summer, he re-teamed with Tucker for the sequel Rush Hour 2, for which the action star earned a hefty $15 million, plus a percentage of the record-breaking box office haul. In 2002, he co-starred with Jennifer Love Hewitt in The Tuxedo, a comedy about a taxi driver who receives special powers when he puts on his boss's tux. That same year, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and was honored with the Taurus Award for Best Action Movie Star at the World Stunt Awards. He followed with another moderately successful sequel, Shanghai Nights in 2003, but The Medallion in 2003, and the adaptation of Around the World in 80 Days in 2004, both flopped. Seeking greater financial and artistic control over his films, he co-founded JC Movies Limited in 2004, through which he produced the successful Hong Kong flicks New Police Story in 2004, The Myth in 2005, and Rob B. Hood in 2006. Recent years. In 2007, he reprised a familiar role with the release of Rush Hour 3. In 2008, he provided the voice of Master Monkey for the wildly successful animated feature Kung Fu Panda, which went on to spawn multiple sequels, a video game, and a TV series. That year, he also paired with fellow Chinese action star Jet Li in The Forbidden Kingdom. Subsequent U.S. releases had he appearing in such family-friendly fare as The Spy Next Door in 2010 and a reboot of The Karate Kid in 2010. Meanwhile, he continued to thrive as a mainstay of Chinese cinema. He headlined the crime drama Shinjuku Incident in 2009 and wrote and starred in the action comedy Little Big Soldier in 2010. In 2011, he completed an ambitious project as co-director and star of the historical drama 1911. CZ-12 in 2012 saw he back in action mode, and the following year he revisited his old franchise with Police Story 2013. He enjoyed a huge box office haul with the 2015 3D historical action film Dragon Blade, which also featured American stars John Cusack and Adrian Brody, setting the table for a slate of 2016 flicks that included Skip Trace and Railroad Tigers.